Title: My family pretended they canceled Christmas dinner due to bad weather. Everyone's staying home, Mom texted. Then I saw their cars at my sister's house. Perfect holiday, they posted, when they called the next day. The storm that never came Christmas had always been sacred in our family. The tree went up the day after Thanksgiving. Mom's cinnamon cookies were practically a religious experience. And every year, like clockwork, we all gathered, siblings, cousins, partners, for dinner, gifts, and a fire crackling in the hearth. So when I got the text from Mom 3 days before Christmas, my stomach dropped. Hey, honey, we're canceling Christmas dinner this year. Forecast says snowstorm's going to get bad. Everyone's staying home just to be safe. I reread it twice, fingers hovering over the screen. I even checked the weather app. Clear skies. Cold, but no storm warnings. Still, I responded with a simple, "Oh, okay. Stay warm." I tried not to overthink it. Maybe Mom was just being overly cautious. Maybe someone wasn't feeling well. Maybe. But the knot in my chest wouldn't loosen. A silent night Christmas Eve came and went. I stayed in my apartment, made soup, watched a movie alone. I didn't decorate much that year. Something about it felt too forced, too fake. I set one small plate for dinner and tried not to feel like a guest in my own holiday. I texted my sister Brittany just to check in. "Miss you. Hope we can still do gift exchange sometime." No reply. Weird. The morning after. It was Christmas morning when it all shattered. I opened Instagram out of habit, still in bed with coffee, not expecting anything other than pictures of fireplaces and gift wrap. And there it was, Brittany's post, her living room, perfectly decorated, filled with people. Mom, Dad, both my brothers, cousins, even Aunt Jen from out of town. Everyone dressed in red, holding glasses of wine, gathered around a turkey. Perfect holiday with the best people. So grateful Seber's blessed, your family first. I froze. Then I scrolled. Another photo. My mom holding a pie. Captioned, "Wouldn't be Christmas without her famous apple crumble." Then a group selfie. My siblings, smiling wide. Without me. The real weather. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, staring at the screen like maybe, if I blinked long enough, the images would disappear. But they didn't. And neither did the comment that twisted the knife deeper. "So glad we ignored the weather scare. Would have hated to miss this." They hadn't canceled Christmas. They canceled me. The text that came too late. The next morning, Mom called. I didn't answer. Then she texted, "Hey, sweetie. Hope you had a cozy Christmas. Let's chat soon. Love you." I stared at it for a long time, and I smiled. Because I knew exactly how I'd respond. Not with a tantrum, not with tears, but with a holiday they would never forget. The gift of distance. I didn't respond to Mom's text, or her second one, which came 2 days later. "Hope you're okay. We should do a Zoom soon. Just us girls." I left it on red, not because I was immature or bitter, but because I finally saw it clearly. They didn't forget me. They excluded me, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. The birthday party. That sealed it. Brittany's birthday was in mid-January. She loved throwing herself lavish, girls-only brunches. Normally, I'd be there early, helping set up decorations, arranging the mimosa bar, offering to pay for cupcakes because she forgot. This year, I was ghosted. No invite, no call. Just another Instagram post, 2 days later. Grateful to be surrounded by the most amazing women in my life, your sister squad. I was not in the photo. I wasn't even mentioned. What struck me most? My mother was. arm in arm with Brittany, both of them holding pink champagne and smiling like nothing had ever been broken. I didn't confront them. I could have called. I could have sent a long, angry message, demanding answers, forcing apologies. But I didn't. Because I knew something they didn't. Revenge isn't about blowing up the past. It's about building something they can't reach, then inviting everyone but them to watch it shine. The start of the plan. That week, I got to work. Step 1. Space. I muted every family member on social media, blocked Brittany entirely. Step 2. Reconnection. I reached out to people I hadn't seen in years, friends who had drifted, co-workers I missed, a few cousins who had quietly slipped away from the family circus too. The response was immediate, warm, curious. I always wondered why you stopped coming around. We thought you were just busy, didn't know they were icing you out. They hadn't forgotten me. They had just believed the version of the story my family had crafted. Not anymore. Then came the invite. In February, I threw a dinner party. Not for my family, for everyone else. I rented out a cozy event space with wood beams and string lights. Hired a private chef. Custom place cards, personalized menu, and a small handwritten note at each setting that read, "Chosen family is still family." 20 people showed up. Old friends, distant cousins, even my high school English teacher. They laughed, they cried, they toasted to me. It was the first holiday gathering I'd hosted in years, and it wasn't even a holiday. The ripple. The photos made it to social media, tagged, shared, liked, and it didn't take long for Brittany to see them. Her comment on a mutual friend's post. Wow, didn't know Kira was doing these kinds of events now. No emoji, no heart, just the sound of someone watching a stage they thought belonged to them. Get stolen. When they started noticing the silence. By spring, I was living a completely different life. No group chats, no passive-aggressive texts, no fake invitations. Instead, I had dinner nights with chosen friends, Sunday hikes with new ones, even reconnected with my cousin Elena, who had stopped coming to family events years ago after being branded too sensitive by the same women who cut me out. "I always thought I was the problem," Elena said over lattes one morning. "But I wasn't. Neither were you." We clinked mugs in quiet agreement. We weren't broken. We were just done explaining ourselves to people who never wanted to understand. The first panic call. It happened in May. Mom called 3 times in one day. I finally picked up on the 4th, out of pure curiosity. "Sweetheart," she said, her voice strained but saccharine. "We're planning a little summer BBQ, just something small for the family. You know, we missed you at Brittany's birthday, and..." I stopped her, calmly. "You didn't miss me. You forgot to invite me." There was a pause. I thought you knew it was happening. Brittany assumed you were busy." "Busy," I repeated. "Right. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just let the lie sit there between us, uncomfortable and obvious." The offer they didn't expect. In July, I hosted another dinner party. This time, bigger. Outdoor garden lights, live jazz duo, a pop-up photo wall. Invitations were hand-delivered. No family was invited, but photos were posted, carefully, tagged, circulated, and for the first time, people began messaging them about me. "Your daughter's event looked amazing. Did you see how well she's doing?" I didn't realize Kira was building something so beautiful. Their silence was louder than any apology. The accidental run in August. A local charity event. I didn't know Mom and Brittany would be there, but I was the featured speaker. I watched their faces from across the ballroom as I took the mic. Sometimes family is who you're born into. Other times, it's who claps for you when your back is turned. I've learned not to chase the first kind, because I've found the second. The applause was warm, real, and when I stepped off the stage, they didn't approach me. Not then. They just watched me leave, with my people. The date was set. As autumn crept in, I made the decision. I'd host Christmas dinner this year. Big, beautiful, warm, surrounded by love. But only from people who had earned a seat at my table. And this time, I wouldn't cancel. I wouldn't forget. But I also wouldn't invite anyone who had once looked me in the eye and lied. The invitation design went out in early November. White with silver edges, stamped with a snowflake wax seal. Printed in delicate script, "You're invited to the kind of Christmas we all deserve." The Christmas invitation that wasn't meant for them. It took exactly 2 days for word of my Christmas dinner to reach my family. I didn't post about it, didn't email them, didn't even mention it in passing. But someone, a cousin, a mutual friend, maybe even Elena, shared a photo of the invitation on their Instagram story. The next morning, I had 3 missed calls from Mom and 1 from Brittany. Then a message from Dad. "Heard you're planning a big Christmas. Would love to talk. Mom's been really hurt." Hurt. Hurt was what I felt last Christmas, when I ate frozen pizza and watched my family celebrate without me, on Instagram. But now, the roles had reversed, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. Brittany texted me directly for the first time in months. "Hey, so, are we not doing Christmas as a family this year? I didn't get the invite. LOL." I stared at the screen, then replied, "That's right. This year, I'm spending Christmas with people who actually made space for me." Her response, "Seriously? You're acting like a child." I didn't reply, because I wasn't being childish. I was being clear. Mom's apology. Call 3 days later, she called again. I answered, "Kira, sweetheart, can we just reset? I don't know what happened, but I hate this distance between us." I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I kept my voice calm, cool. "I know what happened," I said. "You made a choice last Christmas. You included everyone but me, and you called it a cancellation. You lied, and now you want to reset because you realize I'm not coming back on command." She went quiet. "You can't ghost a daughter on a holiday and expect her to stay soft forever," I said. "That version of me is gone." Then I hung up, and I felt lighter than I had in years. The guest list finalized, I sent final confirmations out the week before Christmas. It wasn't just a dinner anymore. It was a celebration of found family. Everyone who ever stood by me. Everyone who ever said, "I see you." Everyone who never made me feel like a spare seat. The florist asked what I wanted for the table centerpiece. I said, "Something that looks like peace. And maybe just a little bit like rebirth." The final move. 2 nights before Christmas, I posted a story. Just one. A close-up of a gold-edged place card sitting beside a polished wine glass, candlelight flickering in the background. The name on the card? Chosen. No caption. Just a snowflake emoji. A seat at my own table. Christmas Eve arrived in a swirl of candlelight, laughter, and music. The house smelled like rosemary and citrus. The fireplace crackled with warmth. The dining table was draped in ivory linen, the silverware polished to a mirror shine. Each place setting held a handwritten name card. Some said, "Found," "Seen," Enough. But the seat at the head of the table, that one said, home. Because for the first time in my adult life, I felt it, the people who showed up. Elena arrived early, helping me plate desserts and rearrange chairs. Delaney, my co-worker turned sister in spirit, brought her 2 kids and a bottle of wine with a handwritten note taped to it. Thank you for showing me I never needed to earn a seat. I just needed to be invited. My friend Isaiah, who helped me through a messy breakup 2 years ago, made a toast that had half the table in tears. Some people spend a lifetime trying to be chosen. Kira showed us you don't have to wait. You can build your own circle. We ate, we drank, we celebrated, and not once did I look at my phone. Meanwhile, across town, but I found out later, from a mutual friend, that my mother had still hosted her own dinner, smaller than usual. Quiet. Dad looked tense. Brittany barely ate. At some point during the evening, they passed around their phones, swiping through photos of my Christmas dinner that had already started to trend locally with hashtags like "DE chosen family," "DE not invited, but not missed," "DE reclaiming holidays." Someone posted a clip of the fireplace and captioned it, "This is what real warmth looks like." In the comments section, let's just say, the world could see who had done the choosing and who had done the excluding. The knock that came late. At around 9:30 p.m., just as we were unwrapping white elephant gifts, there was a knock at the door. I didn't answer. Delaney peeked through the curtain and turned to me. Her voice was soft. "It's your mom." The room went still. I stood, walked calmly to the door, opened it only halfway. She looked tired, teary-eyed, holding a small wrapped box. "I saw the photos," she said. "It looks beautiful." I didn't reply. She held out the box. "I brought your favorite cinnamon cookies. I made them the old way." I looked down at the box, then back at her. "This dinner isn't about cookies," I said gently. "It's about remembering who shows up, and who doesn't pretend the weather canceled me." Her eyes welled up. "I know I hurt you," she whispered. I didn't realize how deeply. I gave her a small, almost kind smile. "That's the thing, Mom. You never do. Until everyone else does first." And then, I closed the door. Softly. A Christmas that was only mine. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of cinnamon still lingering in the air. But it wasn't from my mother's cookies. It was from my kitchen, from the recipe I'd learned years ago. Alone in a quiet apartment, when I had no dinner to go to and no one waiting on me. Back then, I baked to feel something. Now, I baked because I could, because healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant choosing joy on your own terms, without waiting for someone else to hand it to you. The letter on New Year's Day, I wrote a letter, not to send, just for me. Dear family, I'm not angry anymore. I'm aware, and that awareness is a gift. You taught me how to survive disappointment with a smile, how to spot conditional love dressed up as tradition, and how to give myself the validation I begged you for. I used to think love was earned, but I know now. It's offered freely by those who truly see you. You didn't cancel Christmas. You canceled your invitation to be in my life, and that was the best gift you ever gave me. I folded it, sealed it, and tucked it away in the back of a drawer. Maybe someday I'll read it to them. Maybe not. Either way, it was finished. The last gesture. The week after, I took one of the extra invitations, the ones I never sent to my family, and drove it over to my parents' house. I placed it carefully inside their mailbox, with one addition. a sticky note attached to the back. This is what a real invitation looks like. You'll know you've earned the next one when you stop expecting it. I didn't wait for a reply because I didn't need one. Epilogue, next year's table. December came again, faster than I expected. The lights went up, the cinnamon cookies baked. The table was set, this time with double the guests from last year. New faces, older friends, a cousin who left her own family behind for similar reasons. One seat at the table was labeled healed, and another whole. Someone raised a toast to growth. Another added to cutting ties that once cut us. And then everyone looked at me. I didn't cry. I didn't speak right away. I just smiled and lifted my glass to not needing anyone's permission to be happy. You are not alone, and you are so much stronger than you think. Tap that subscribe button to join Veiled Revenge, where we share tales that heal, inspire, and remind you that even the deepest heartbreak can lead to the most beautiful new beginning. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that revenge isn't always about getting even. Sometimes it's just about getting better.